Okay, so we're all in agreement. The people that find success in real estate and digital marketing are the people that show up every single day. Now, if you're a practitioner of this, I'm sure you know what I'm saying because there is 110% validity and truth to it. But for those of you that are still on the fence, I challenge you to give it a try. I guarantee you will find some hidden gems in this. But I digress. That's not really the point of today's video. The point of today's video is to help you, my friends, come up with content ideas to share on a daily basis. Because let's face it, coming up with constant content ideas on a daily basis, hey, it is just a lot of hard work. Emmanuel here, and in today's video, I want to break down one of the tips. I want to uncover one of the secrets when it comes to coming up with content ideas to share. Look, I use it. I'm sure a lot of the influencers that you follow use this exact same strategy. I'm gonna break it down for you today, so let's go. All right, now before I get into the good stuff of today's video, please make sure you join our free Facebook group and join the conversation. You can talk shop with myself as well as other people within the group where we talk all things about real estate, digital marketing, and strategy. So link in the comment section below, go click join now. Thank you so much. All right, now let's hop in and have the real conversation for today, which is all about content creation. And in the content creation mode, you guys know that the secret sauce isn't the quality of content that you create, but it's the fact that you need to show up every single day with content. Now, the problem is you can only go so far in terms of coming up with, relevant, cool categories or ideas to share. But what if I told you there is some inspiration lying right under your nose and I just wanted to point it out or kind of, point you in the direction of it. All right, I want to break this down to you, but make sure you click that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified of future videos. It helps out the channel. It appeases the YouTube gods, AKA the algorithm. And thank you so much as well in advance. All right, now the topic of today's conversation is all about coming up with content to share. And we all know that the challenge is really coming up with a simple strategy or really finding some inspiration for ideas to create content. Now, real quick, the topic of today's video is actually inspiration that I've gotten from my colleagues, my mentors, some coaches, and really kind of them giving me little tidbits of their strategy. And so what I actually did was I took pieces of their strategy, kind of put it into my strategy, and I'm also synthesizing that same strategy into something that's a little bit more conceptualized that you can use today. And I want to kick off with some shout outs for these people that inspired me for today's post and some principles that they kind of shared with me. So I'm going to go over real quick principle number one, which comes from one of my mentors, Greg Hickman. In that, he states, use client objections as content. All right, let me break this down for a minute because really using client objections as content serves two distinct purposes. Purpose number one is that the objections that you are constantly receiving when you're on the phone, when you're talking to leads or prospects, sometimes it's easier to just direct them to a video instead of having to constantly repeat yourself. And really, the objective number two in this is that you're now able to create new pieces of content on a regular basis to really help strengthen and build up your brand. So picture this if you can. Imagine that you're doing some Facebook ads about a particular problem that your clients are facing. And let's say that they decided to learn more about you before actually reaching out to you, so they decided to Google you. And in the process of Googling you or maybe finding a video of you, they find a posting that you've created about one of the ideas that they have in their mind as an objection that they're potentially going to be asking you, but instead of them asking you, they've seen you answer that objection preemptively in this video or in this piece of content. Now, by preemptively answering this objection, it puts you in a really great position because you end up building up more trust with that prospect and more authority without actually having to talk to that prospect. And not only that, it also positions you to have more content in this digital marketing ecosystem, so it really helps, build and continue to expand your brand. All right, point number two, or principle number two, comes from one of my boys. His name's Larry, and he actually kind of reinforces the use of utilizing objections as content in what he says in this. So imagine this, you're in a hallway and there are 10 doors. 9 of those doors have bombs. The 10th door is the door at the end of the hallway. That is the door that when you open it, you turn your prospect into a client. Now, essentially, each one of these 9 rooms with the bombs in them, these bombs, these are client objections. So the idea of turning objections into content is essentially trying to defuse every single one of these bombs in these 9 rooms so that, or at least try to defuse as many of these bombs in these 9 rooms so that by the time you actually get on a conversation with a prospect, it will be a lot easier for you to convert that prospect into a client. All right, and my last point I'm gonna touch on comes from one of my mentors from afar. His name's Christo, and what he says is to create content when you're angry. The reason I bring this up is because this is probably one of the easiest ways for you to come up with content. So picture this, imagine that you were on a sales call and the sales call lasted for like an hour or maybe an hour and a half. And at the end, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling frustrated. Heck, you're probably feeling angry because you were on this call with a prospect and it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. This prospect didn't end up turning into a client. So what he recommends, and actually what I've found to be a sweet spot in terms of content creation, especially when it comes to coming up with ideas for objections, it's to use that negative energy and turn it into a positive. Meaning, reflect on that conversation with that prospect. Chances are they asked you a question and you answered it, but it wasn't the answer that was really gonna move the needle. It wasn't the answer that that prospect was looking for. So think about that question and then maybe think about how you can better address or answer that question in the future and then create content out of it. So the next time that a prospect comes knocking at your door, not only have you come up with a great answer to an objection, you also have another asset in your arsenal, and that you've actually created content about that objection. So hey, cross the fingers, they might see that content before actually talking to you, and you've already diffused one of the bombs. You've already diffused one of the objections, and you're that much closer to turning this prospect into a client. All right, this sounds fundamentally simple, but you would be surprised how many agents do not post the solutions to their objections online, yet their prospects are the #1 people looking for these answers. Yeah, I know that today was a pretty short video, but I wanted to share this little tidbit with you because there is a massive amount of value in really identifying your clients' objections and creating content around them. By the way, if you're having trouble coming up with content or this whole idea and process of you really utilizing content as objections, then hey, have a conversation with us. I highly recommend it. Schedule a strategy session, leaving the link in the description below as well. Talk to either myself or someone from my team, and we will be happy to see if we can help you out. All right, guys, that about does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some value, but aside from that, have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.